Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you want to know more about me, you can visit those links. And today's topic is all about Kafka architecture and how internally Kafka works with with deep dive. Okay, let's jump into the use case. So Kafka broker internal use case is a deep dive of Kafka broker. So Kafka is a distributed messaging service architecture. So that means your message gets distributed into multiple locations. It depends on how do we configure certain things. Let us first understand at the high level, Kafka has a producer. That means who generates the data and sends to the broker. So broker is a service which will be storing the information sent by the producer at the broker's end. The broker can retain the data for certain duration of the time, which configured by the admins. And then consumers are the one who is going to connect to the brokers, gets the data, and process according to their application needs. Okay, so Kafka has basically two sets of service components at the very high level. So you call it as a broker and the other one is a zookeeper. Broker as decomposed into further internal components as a leader, follower, fundamentals. So leader means whichever broker is initially starting up, that becomes the broker. The brokers which is starting later on follows this broker. To coordinate among the brokers, zookeeper is the one which is taking care of those responsibilities. Any one of the broker, say, failed to respond or killed by itself, one of the follower becomes the leader, which will elect by the zookeeper. Then that takes care the responsibility of serving to producer or serving to the consumer. So Kafka writes the data on the file system, and that writing they use a specific terminology called write ahead log. Whatever the file which will be available on the file system, that call it as a commit log. That commit log always happens in the forward motion. Okay, so as I said, Kafka broker, whichever is the leader, always responds to the any of the producer requests or any of the consumer requests. So Kafka admin has ability to create a topic, delete a topic, alter a topic, and for that particular topic, he can create partitions, he can alter the partitions, and depends on the broker size, he can also set up the replications as well as the application specific to the organization. Okay, Kafka files are called as a segmented file because when you create a topic, when you create a partition, that means your message can be stored in partition 1 or partition 2. So this, to keep track, they used a fundamental called segmented file. So if you look at in the PPT, you see a big zeros. So that is a segment that comes with initially 0, and then it keeps evolving with the versions. You can see in the next slides. Let's understand the concept now. So this is a big file with 0, it begins, followed by dot index, followed by dot time index, followed by dot log, followed by dot snapshot. These were the extensions which creates underneath your file system location where the Kafka storage was configured. So this index file contains the offset and the position. Say I am sending ABC is the message. Offset is 0, ABC is 1. How many characters? 3. So you will have the position 3. Then if I send the fourth message, offset become 4, and say PQR if I'm sending it message. So the position is PQR. Likewise, it will be keep evolving, and this index files, time index files, log files, and snapshot. I'll come to snapshot little later. Okay, but always this index file, time index file, log file always comes with one segment constantly. It won't vary. Snapshot, we'll talk about it. So snapshot is nothing but it is an intermediate area where data, if it is not being consumed, that means whatever the staging operations before it finally writes to a new segment file, until that moment it holds the data within this snapshot file. Okay, so we will see as a deep down. So let's go to the next slide. Here you can see very high level. You have a producer, you have a broker, you have sort of consumers. Our consumers can be also placed in the consumer group for the better way of balancing your consumption of your data. Okay. So this is the very high level. If you want to know more details, visit kafka.apache.org so that you can find better information. So now I am running in my local system only one broker. That's the reason I'm giving you snapshots for representing one of the broker. So if you look at the first screenshot, I have created a topic name called data in, and which has two partitions, 0 and 1, when I was creating it. Now if you look at it here, it is treating as a leader because only one broker I have. Say if I have one more broker in my cluster, I will see that followers, the same partition will be follower in other broker, and I can see that replica set as 2 here because in my current system I do not have two brokers running. So as an admin, when I'm creating this topic with the two partitions, this will be leader and this will be replica will be 2, and those other will be followers. I will definitely see it. As I was talking about the Kafka internals, so I was getting to know about my topic, how many locations has been internally created. If you look at it, when I am issuing a Linux command, I see that data in 4-0, data in -4 1. That means this is the 0th partition. According to this is the first partition. As I was mentioning, index file, timestamp, time index, log always constantly goes with one segment. So usually it begins with 0, then keep evolving based on the data keeps coming to the broker from the producer side. This is partition 0, and you see snapshot for partition 0. So this number is quite different than these 3. The same case with partition 1. Now let's go ahead and see how these files internally have the information. So I have used a set of commands to get the data. So if I issue a command which gets the data from the Kafka broker engine index file, it has offset and the position. This is the information which has in this file. Now, if I look at the content of this time index file, it has this particular offset, which timestamp it arrived, and that information here. If you look at the log, so which offset, which data, what is the size, what is the key, all this, any headers we are sending as part of the Kafka, all those details will be coming here. So this has a lot of data, but I have truncated that information into small to depict here. And you can see here the index, sorry, the snapshot file, which has a different, but with no data availability at that moment of time. Also, you can see from the previous slide that is here, how these partitions are managed and maintained, all this metadata, leader, epoch, sorry, leader, epoch, all these details we can see it from here. So that's how internally it is organized. Thanks for watching my video. If you like, you can go ahead and subscribe or give a thumbs up or give a like. Thanks for watching.